Hey guys, welcome back to Mom Likely. My name's Shauna if you're new here and this is your first time tuning in. Today I'm walking you through video number 3 in my series where I'm trying to stock up my household supply with stockpile product items and then also food items. So I started off by heading to Cattleman's, and this is where I decided to get some meat at this month. I've been going back and forth to Sam's Club, but there's just some stuff that I'm just not accustomed to. So I stepped foot in here to see what they have, and they have the same bundles that they usually have. They have a lot of arrangements of bundles from like 5 pounds of food all the way up to like 10 pounds of each different type of food. But for today, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted, so I just got our standard that I knew we would get through and I know we would use. And for us, that's definitely some steak and chicken, and then I picked up some pork chops while I was there. We've started eating pork chops like once a month, just because it's really cheap, and I just been trying different recipes with them. So today I'm starting off by, I'm going to freeze up some of this meat because I'm not going to go through it. And technically this isn't for like food storage because this meat won't last us very long. This is probably, a couple weeks worth of food for meals, but I'm still going to go ahead and seal it because I don't want it to go bad, because using the vacuum sealer does prolong the life and freshness of the food far better than a Ziploc bag, in my opinion. In the past, when I tried to do my stand-up deep freezer and I just used Ziploc bags and cellophane, like the press and seal, it just didn't work out that great. And there was always something that ended up freezer burnt, even up to a year. And so if your food is properly freezer sealed and, frozen while fresh, then it can last up to 2 years. But mostly with meat, you want to try to rotate through it. Depending on who you are, if you're have a really big deep freezer that just never opens, some people would keep their meat for a few years at a time. Actually, it's just not recommended. I have this vacuum sealer that we brought from the old house. This one's pretty old. It's a couple years old. I expected it to work better actually because I didn't get too much use out of it. But this was sent to me probably 3 or 4 years ago. But it's just not working that well. And I'm also missing one of the little suction cords. But I don't remember that being needed for regular vacuum sealing. So I'm looking into getting a new vacuum sealer. I would like a nice one because I feel like it's going to be a great investment towards helping us to save money and, just helping us preserve our food. So I'm going to get a new one in the future. But for today, I had this one on hand and figured I would share it with you because for food storage and for saving money, I think that vacuum sealing for freshness and buying things on sale and freezing it is a really good idea and investment. You can see here that I did pretty good, but in my opinion, this thing should be a lot more sealed. In my opinion, it should just have a lot more air out of it. But the old saying, beggars can't be choosers. I had this one on hand, so I wanted to work with what I already had. But like I said, I'll put it on my list to get a new one for the future. And thank you so much for being patient and waiting for this week's video. We were a little bit behind because we babysat our nephew and our niece because James's brother welcomed another baby into the world. So it just set me back a little bit in my schedule, but they were so cute and the new baby is doing well and healthy and home. And then we went over to visit and that, so it was a good time. So thank you for being patient on the video. I've been in my cycle brain more recently, so I'm coming out of that. So I spent some time also this week having some downtime where I wasn't as productive as I usually would be. During this time, I just kind of try to, use this to recuperate. So I did some things for me, which I really enjoyed. I straightened my hair, I did my eyebrows, I wrote a song, and then I also started filling in a couple more recipes into our family cookbook. We did try out a new cookie recipe, so we found one of our cookie recipes that we're going to have in our book and use as a go-to. We still have a few more to try, but the chocolate chip cookie one we have. I also spent quite a bit of time going over and deciding how do I want my new cleaning routine to look around the house. How does that work into the other tasks I need to get done? And I'm looking at the Fly Lady system on top of like many other cleaning routine type deals. And I'm kind of just trying to craft my own mix, something that works with how I already do things, but basically gives me more structure. So I'm hoping in the next couple weeks, especially moving into the next year, I'm going to be developing a cleaning routine. I'm definitely going to take the advice and try to bite the bullet, because I just have so much stuff I want to do, and there's so much more things around the house I need to do than just clean all day. So I need my life to evolve so that way there's more time for like more goodies, more activities, and just more overall enrichment in general for my family and myself. So I'm really excited to craft that routine and work in, all my food and storage and like health and weight loss and just enrichment activities with the kids. So I'm like super ready and pumped for this new year, and all this is just such a great momentum for me to go ahead and get started. And I'm really glad that I did it and got back into it, because sometimes it's just like really hard to get out of just like the regular mundane hustle and bustle of life, where like we're just caught in this, I wouldn't necessarily say negative food feedback loop, but we're just caught in this loop where we're not allowing new things, new experiences, and room for growth. And that's kind of where I am. I want to, open myself back up with room for growth, so that way I can enjoy this beautiful life. I don't know, that's way too much into this, but that's where I'm at right now. So I have in here some flour and sugar. I know even one of the suggestions made was that when you have your grains and your dry goods, we got to make sure that all the little weevils and stuff stay out of them. So the way you can do that is when you vacuum seal with the air absorbers, it pretty much kills them because there's no air in that. But a good way, if you want to keep them in your working pantry, or you want to, make sure they're good before using them, is basically just stick them in your freezer, your flour and your sugar, for a couple of days, like 3 or 4 days. These have been in here for a couple of weeks now, actually. And then they're going to be okay, because nothing is going to hatch inside and anything inside is dead. So I got some stuff down here. I didn't have time to run to Sam's, but I still have a couple of hamburger. We've decided to stick to organic hamburger beef. So I'm going to keep buying it, the Members Mark one from Sam's Club. And I figured it was actually a better price, because it's like $4 something. It's like $5 a pound every time, even not on sale. And even at the meat market where I just went, the hamburger was like $5.50, or like a lot of times it's close to like $6 or $7 a pound. So I'm like, if I'm gonna pay even the same price and not cheaper, I might as well get the organic one. So that's what we've been doing for beef. till we can get us like a cow. This is something I'm still yet to use that I bought from Sam's Club. Let me get this stuff out of here real quick. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna freeze these flat like this because I want them to freeze in like file form. So I want them to just kind of be as flat as they can. So I'm gonna leave them in this bag so they're easy to access, and I'm gonna drop these on the very bottom of everything just like this. Another thing I stocked up on this week are spices. I just went to Aldi so I didn't have to open up a large jar at a time, and they're only $1 a piece, and the vanilla was like I think $3.29. The best advice that I've gotten and that I've noticed is always if you're gonna get one, buy one for later, and that works extremely well for things that have like a little bit of longer longevity in your kitchen, as opposed to like more perishable items. So like one extra or two extra is definitely suitable to help aim towards building the stockpile. So the one thing as I was starting to plan out, how is this going to look for the next, like what I already did a month. So how's this going to look for like the next few months of me trying to do this realistically within our budget? Because I told you that one week I went and I was like, oh, we have this extra money. Let me go ahead and start the stockpile and stock up our house. And then I was hit with something unexpected, which was some dental work I had to get done and some dental replacing I had to get done on a retainer because our dogs chewed my retainer. So I was like, I got to be realistic about this as well, because sometimes even though we want the best out of our plan, sometimes it doesn't go that way, especially financially. So it's important that if you do want to save money to kind of calculate that. And so I would say like there's room in our budget to where we can put and allocate some money towards stocking up the house. But somebody said this in the comments, and I didn't really fully understand it at first until they said it, which was if you want to build up your stockpile and pantry, which is to first start with your actual working pantry. So this is you having extra stuff on hand at the house so you can shop your home. That way you're limiting your trips to the grocery store, you're limiting your gas. Bonus and amazement if you're actually purchasing these items in bulk and on sale when you can, so that way you're saving money on them as well, each item, so that way you're not having to buy full price when you need it. You have it on hand already when it was low, you know what I mean? So there's your working pantry where you have stuff that you're using often and always, and like you're gonna rotate through it basically. Then you have like your supply storage that might be, a lot of people like to do a 3-month supply for like if something happens, everybody's taken care of for 3 months. We can eat and we can go about our normal everyday life as normal as we can while we can, you know what I mean? So say for instance, if somebody gets sick, if somebody loses a job, if something changes financially or environmentally where we need some stability for some months, and we plan ahead for that accordingly. So maybe there's 3 months, enough supplies for everybody in the family for that set amount of time. Then we have our long-term food storage, where these are things that you'll buy, product or food storage wise, you're not going to touch them. Like they're just going to be a part of your family. They're like, what is it? Heirlooms at this point, basically. They're things that are going to last you 10 to 30 years, basically. And they're literally there in the event that your family has a crisis and you have that, what is it called? Like that little pot to lean on, and or if something crazy happens in the environment or in the world, you have that stability that you planned ahead for. So in terms of where I'm starting, I'm a beginner per se. So me and James have been looking heavily into this stuff over the last few years, but we've never really gotten into canning, gardening, freeze drying, dehydrating. These are all amazing things. I'm so glad you guys recommended them to us. We've seen them here and there, but over like the last year, I don't think we really took it like as far as to go see how simple it actually is. Cause like we're just not taught this stuff in school. And it's so disheartening because so much more people would have been and would be so much better off if we just learned this way of life and more self-sustainability versus leaning on commercial companies and what is it? Like consumerism to survive. But that's here nor there, right? We've all kind of modernized ourselves. We live in a modern society, and like I'm very fortunate for it. Like as much as like the dream sounds great of like, you know, living on a farm, doing this, that, and the third. When you're somebody that doesn't come from that, it just doesn't seem very realistic. And I'm definitely not a farm girl. Like I would not. Don't get me wrong. I would get out there and I would readjust. You know what I mean? But part of me would have to die for me to become acclimated in that environment. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's so far off topic, but let's just get into what I got real quick. My last quick tip, if you're really struggling to buy products for your family to use throughout the month, is if you have a friend or a family member who you could also go in on things with. So for instance, I'll share this one product. So I got this bar, soap is what I love bar soap because I think it's the cheapest. It's the easiest to hold on to. It doesn't break down as quickly as body wash. And I just feel like it's more cost effective. So I always use bar soap. But what is this? So this is a pack of 12. So, you know, maybe you don't have money to buy Dove that week and you're like, I have to use something cheaper from the Dollar Tree or something. But if you and a friend can go up on a stock price, maybe you don't get everything that week. Maybe you just get soap. That week, use the same soap to wash your hair. It sucks. I hear you, but like when you're starting out to like get that little bit ahead, you got to stop buying one item. But utilizing your store rewards helps a lot. So that's why sometimes people will say like it's cheaper to shop at Dollar Tree or Walmart or something to get a lot of different food and product items. But one thing I did back then as well is I always shopped Meijer because I liked that they were a unionized local store for us here in the Midwest, in Michigan, but also they have a really great reward program and offered killer coupons. So when I would put all my spending into one spot because I didn't have excess to spend, I made sure I spent all my money in one store so that way I maximized my rewards back. And so there was months where those reward points paid for our soap and toothpaste or diapers or wipes and stuff like that, just to get ahead. And then you can stack that, of course, with like diapers and soap coupons that you find in like your weekly newspaper, or you can print them offline, or you can even get digital coupons as well. So you'll have to go specifically into the store's apps and that. I've been well out of the coupon game for a long time. There's some really amazing creators out there that do incredible coupon content. It's just a time constraint for me where I don't have time to coupon. So that's why I more maximize like, you know, my dollar versus like my time. Because when I was a couponer, I traded my time for couponing. I treated it as a job when I was extreme couponing, but now I don't have time for that. So my savings and what I could find wouldn't be maximized because my time's already spent in other areas now, so it wouldn't work out. So let me take you through a couple of my favorite Dollar Tree products that I always buy there that help to save money and help keep things here in the house in rotation. Number one thing for me, I always get there are loofahs. I don't recommend getting the one with a little gold cording inside. I don't think those are cozy to wash yourself with, but these ones are really cool for $1.25. I like that they're like in the middle between like too small and too big. I just like these ones. I think Walmart though carries $1 one. But this is just always convenient for me. So the main items that I got from Dollar Tree this week for my stockpile are like hygiene and first aid kit items. Now, I wouldn't go crazy to buy everything there just because the quality might not be there in terms of like if you are very sick or wounded, you know what I mean, depending on the situation. But don't overlook what Dollar Tree has because they have really great options too. So I got like some paper tape, self-adhesion, saline for the nose. I got a couple bottles of alcohol. They carry the 70% there. Alcohol is really great to stock up on, which we all know. Because you can use it for first aid, but you can also use it for cleaning as well. I also got peroxide, and this is a double whammy as well because this works great with different laundry and cleaning product items if you need to make them yourself. The other thing I got this week was hydrocortisone cream. This one works pretty good. I buy this all the time because it's really expensive at like Meijer or Walmart, and I think this does a decent job for like small outbreaks in that. It's definitely worth it. And I mean, even if you have to use more of it, you're getting so much more for the value. So it's like, you know, $1.25 versus like $7 for something, you know, it's like, why not try it? We also tried the psoriasis relief one. Now, they do have one that says eczema, but honestly, the eczema one is literally the same as the hydrocortisone cream. It's just packaged differently. And the hydrocortisone cream one has more ounces per bottle. So if you are somebody that wants to stock up on that, if you have skin or dermatitis issues, definitely lean towards the hydrocortisone cream to save money, because the eczema one is just, it's less in a bottle, you know. I also got some triple antibiotic ointment there. These are only 0.5 ounces. I feel like you can probably get a bigger bottle for a better deal. But for things like this, one of my biggest problems with buying like an excess bulk amount of products is that a lot of products with active ingredients and stuff can go bad really quickly, as opposed to like, you know, like a food item that's like been canned in a can, it's not really going to go bad or something, or a paper product, or like, you know, certain materials that we have things made out of, but products will go bad. And so I wouldn't want to go out and buy a huge bottle of saline spray when personally I can only use this one at a time. And then you literally disturb the whole package once you open it. Once the air hits it, it starts degrading right there. So it's like, I like these smaller items to purchase, like, you know, single and personal use items, because that way you're not going to waste a huge thing over time. You can just open them as needed. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? The other thing we love from Dollar Tree are these floss picks. Specifically, these ones we love. We're kind of like really anal about these ones. This is something we buy every month, even if we have them. I also really like, they have the Colgate toothbrushes there for cheap, only $1 something for 2 of them. And I like this one because it's the one that comes with the tongue scrubber as well. So these are literally like the same ones we get from our dentist. So I'm getting extra of these. So this is my favorite one right here by Colgate, is my favorite one. And see, the problem is this one is only 2.1 ounces for $1.25, whereas this baking soda and peroxide one is $1.25 for 5 ounces. So you get way more value for your $1.25 if you do go with the bigger one like this one. It's just all about your preference. So like if my teeth are bothering me, like I want to have this one on hand. And when I buy an actual bottle of this in Meijer, full price, it costs me like $7 or $8. So I'll just take this small one, you know, and use it responsibly. So I got a bunch of toothpaste for this haul. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 packages of toothpaste. Everyone's got some toothpaste for a while. Okay, now moving on to my cleaning products from Dollar Tree. I wouldn't say products, they're just sponges. So I like to try an arrangement of sponges from Dollar Tree. I do love the Scrub Mommy. That's something I purchase often. I bought the value pack from Sam's Club, but I like that they have other name brand things to try there too. This is a Pine Salt eraser sponge, so it's got the magic eraser on this side and probably like some soap on this side. I didn't try it yet. But we got these Scrub Buddy sponges, and they have the melanome foam on this side or whatever, and then the scrubby on this side. Same with these ones. This one's a regular sponge on one side and then like a little scraper on the other. I like these ones quite a bit. These are worth it to me. I like these. I don't prefer regular sponge because I feel like they get very stinky. And these are just easy to replace. Plus we use different sponges too with the dog bowls and that. So I like having a lot of sponges from there on hand to stock up on. And they have really good scrub brushes for stuff. All different kind of scrub brushes from there that are great for cleaning. And these blue and white ones, like this ones, are hard bristled ones, and these are really great for only $1.25. In terms of first aid kits, I also have a box remaining here from when we were dealing with 2020, where I have cleaning. I have masks that are N95. And I use these when I clean, when I do lots of different dusting or whatever like that. I'll throw one of these on for that as well. But I keep these here. I'm going to order another box of those for us. And I bought this kit from Sam's Club. I don't remember if I showed it in the last one. I don't think I did. But I bought this in the previous haul. I just forgot to open it. And it says it has, well, you know, you can use it anywhere. It has a lot of the standard goodies in it. It has like a whole list of items here, but let's just open it up and see a quick glance at it. I really wanted it because I liked this case and I thought it would be good to maybe, you know, hang on the wall or just put in our little bin of like an emergency kit, because like I want to make one of those soon too. Although I think this is kind of basic, I mean, that's what a first aid kit is. I do find it useful because one of my favorite things that I'm liking about buying bulk first aid items is the fact that they're all like single use, because I don't want to buy something that's like a huge bottle of hand sanitizer or like aspirin and stuff like that and then have that whole entire bottle go bad. So it's cool that all these things are, you know, preserved for like single use. And I feel like that extends the longevity of the products. So this will just be something we can put in our little kit. I did go back to Sam's Club for some items, and one of those items was Ziploc bags. On the last haul, I got the gallon, and this time I got the quart size and the sandwich. So these bags are a really, really good deal at Sam's Club for me, because usually, well, first of all, when you buy a box, it comes with 4 boxes within each box. And I think the sandwiches were around like $12 or $13, and the other ones, all of them are between like $12 and $15 a piece. So that's a really good deal, because even for like a regular standard size like store brand, like when I would get them at Meijer or something, they would be like, you know, $6-7 sometimes. So you get so much more for your money. Even the Aldi ones is what I was buying more recently, and those ones still, they're like $4 or $5 per box. And then it's like, wow, that's like half the cost and you're getting almost triple the amount. So it definitely works better getting them from Sam's Club in bulk. I'm not entirely sure what happened to the audio during this part of the video, but I filmed a portion talking and I don't know, the audio was just completely lost on it. But the gist of what I was trying to show really quickly is just that we have this food dehydrator, and this is some freeze-dried food that we have. These freeze-dried foods are literally good for 30 years. I can't believe that. But yeah, here's a lot of what you guys were suggesting. We have like Mylar bags. This is the only size I have right here. And then we have the oxygen absorbers. These are kind of used like postage stamps. You have to use like a certain amount per like your size of bag and that. I need to get some more of these things, but these kinds of Mylar bags and that are pretty much like, here's the food sealer bags that I just use for the meat. But the Mylar bags and that, those are kind of like for long-term storage of items. And I'm still working on like the food storage for like right now for like my working pantry, but I'll definitely be getting into all that. And yeah, I'll probably get some new supplies too, because like I said earlier, I want a new meat sealer. I did end up moving my Kleenex up here. I decided that I wanted this closet area to be the paper products. So this is going to host like all the paper products and stuff like that, because I also don't want them in the bathroom where it gets like moisture. And I figured they were taking up too much space in my food area, but I'm just taking this, you know, as I go. So I'll keep moving things around as I need to. And if I need to move them somewhere else because I'm out of space, then I'll do that if I need this closet. But right now I'm designated this as my paper product storage. So at this point now, feeling like I actually have some products in the house for us to use. As you can see here, this isn't really like that much in terms of like a stockpile, but this is still quite a bit for us to use like on a working basis. And then there's still lots of room in here, and if it's an organized bin, I feel like I can fit a lot in there, even in just like 6 bins. So if you don't have a lot of space either and you want to stock up on products, I think even just like one small stack of these containers from Dollar Tree can hold quite a bit of stuff, because it's always better to just have something than nothing, especially if you're doing it the route to save money. Then you can have like some kind of organized place to hold stuff. It just might have to sit off in a corner or under a bed or something like that. But now that I've actually like got some stuff in the house, and I feel like there's some things we can actually use, I want to designate now the next haul. I'm going to go back into canned goods. I've made my list to see really what I want to get, and I want to try to do more meat. I did decide for this year to just go ahead and keep going back and forth to the meat market and Sam's Club for bulk meats until we can decide at what point we want to get a cow from the farm. But for now, that's all we're doing. But now that I've done like the 3rd haul, I'm kind of starting to see now what is going to be realistic moving forward to do this on a bi-weekly basis. So I'm thinking now that I have things to keep things, coming in still, I'm thinking I'm going to do like $50 per haul to like go towards products, because there's still some things I don't have yet, like some extra soaps in that, so I might still have to do a little bit more than that. But once I have everything, I'm gonna try to designate like $50 towards going towards keeping the rotation filling up, if that makes sense. And then I'm not really sure otherwise, because I think I hauled this stuff over the course of a few days, actually in a couple weeks. So I think I spent around like $300 or $400. I don't know, it was a lot, honestly. But there was things just that we needed that we didn't have, and the meat costs like $97 for the meat that I got. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We have a lot to get into, as you can see here. There's still a lot to fill. In the next one, I think I'm going to go ahead and clean out these other 2 sides of the shelf right here that I can get to, so that way I can make more room for the canned goods. So if you want to catch up and you miss the others, I'll have the playlist down below so you can catch up on 1 and 2. I'll see you next time. Bye.